This Kawhi Leonard situation is something we've never seen before. So if you've been living under a rock, you have maybe not have noticed that Pablo Torre came out with this article a couple weeks ago at this point in time, kind of taking shots and throwing a lot of accusations at Kawhi Leonard, Steve Ballmer, and the Los Angeles Clippers for potentially circumventing the salary cap and paying Kawhi Leonard almost $50 million under the table. Now, as I record, this stuff is still coming out, so this is not by any means the full story, and I'm not even going to begin to tell you I fully understand everything that's happening here. A lot of it is a lot of legal, just mumbo jumbo that I don't understand. So again, if I misspeak, please let me know in the comments below. I am just going to try to tell you guys, I'm sure you guys have seen it from other creators. I'm just going to give my thoughts on it. Like maybe you guys, again, maybe some of you haven't seen it for some reason, and I just going to kind of talk about it, what it may mean for Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers and maybe Steve Ballmer going forward. But again, really it comes down to Kawhi Leonard receiving a $28 million sponsorship deal from Aspiration, a company that is now bankrupt, that Steve Ballmer, the owner, governor, whatever you want to call him, of the LA Clippers, has put almost $50 million into. There's multiple other celebrities, including guys like Leonardo DiCaprio, I believe, that put a couple $1 million in. But Kawhi Leonard has put in, or what the company's paid out to Kawhi Leonard, has been like 10 times over from what those other celebrities got. A lot of it kind of started, people kind of noticed something maybe weird was going on when going into the 2023, like about 2 years ago in the offseason, Kawhi Leonard was eligible for that 4-year, $220 million contract extension. But again, with his injuries and the team just not doing that well, they weren't quite sure if they wanted to pay him. He ends up signing a 3-year deal worth $153 million. That's what, $70 million left on the table. And a lot of people are like, okay, he took a hometown discount. He wanted to be in LA. Maybe he's just helping it out. We saw something like that very similar the following offseason with Jalen Brunson. On September 3rd, then, the news comes out that they were in another scandal. Podcaster and journalist Pablo Torre reported about Leonard's sponsorship deal at Aspiration. Hours later, the NBA announced it was launching an investigation. And then they did Steve Ballmer had that interview as well. Steve Ballmer pretty much denied he had no idea what was going on. He's like, I got scammed. Like, it wasn't anything we did wrong. They went bankrupt. We tried what we could. They scammed Kawhi Leonard. They scammed me. They scammed a bunch of other people. Then some weird stuff starts coming out. Like on September 11th, just days into the investigation, Pablo Torre reported that the Clippers' minority owner, Dennis Wong, Ballmer's former college roommate at Harvard, invested $1.99, basically $2 million, in Aspiration in December 2022, just 9 days before the company made a $1.75 million payout to Kawhi Leonard. So he gives the company $2 million. About a week and a half later, Kawhi Leonard gets $1.75 million. It is a little bit sketchy. Then on top of that, apparently that payment was late because there was financial troubles. Maybe it was late because this guy, what's his name? This guy, Dennis Wong, had just not paid yet. And now all this is coming out that like there's so many different punishments that can come from finding Kawhi Leonard, from finding the Clippers, having Steve Ballmer suspended, having Kawhi Leonard suspended, having people in the Clippers organization suspended, all the way up to the potential voiding of Kawhi Leonard's contract, voiding his contract, which means it gets wiped completely off the books of the Clippers. He is gone, but he is also no longer allowed to re-sign with the Clippers, so he just has to leave. That brings up another problem, though. If, again, I think that is the absolute last option. I don't think that's something they want to do because they know it'll shift the entire power balance in the NBA. Listen, I know Kawhi Leonard hasn't really been healthy in some years, and what does a healthy Kawhi Leonard is still a very, very good player, but the problem is, when are we getting that healthy version of Kawhi Leonard? So again, maybe this isn't like 2019 Kawhi Leonard joining a team. It's like, oh, it just makes him a super team, but it's still a all-star level player when healthy that could potentially just join a team for a minimum contract. That's a big issue, especially because now they just came out and said that they're done building around Kawhi Leonard, which, I mean, yeah, like Kawhi Leonard's in his 30s now. Again, with the injury history, they just haven't been good. They made it to the conference finals one time in the Paul George, Kawhi Leonard era, and Kawhi was hurt, and Paul George kind of did that himself. It is also kind of weird because they also had that report to come out that, Kawhi basically said, or his uncle Dennis, as they're calling him, said that if he wanted to stay in Toronto after they won the championship, they were going to have to give him part ownership in the team. It's going to be a bunch of like off the court sponsorship he was going to get to do. And that's kind of one of the things he said for the Lakers. If he wanted to go to the Lakers, he needed that. For the Clippers, he needed like that kind of thing to go to the Clippers. And the Clippers are like, listen, we're a team that has never had a championship and never been to the conference finals. We're desperate to bring our guy back home. So I think, at this point in time, it's almost guaranteed that they they paid him under the table. Like, this is not like I'm pretty sure this is like a foregone conclusion at this point in time. I think it just really at this point in time is like, was it a fraud? Was it fraudulent? Right? Does that make sense? Like, he was definitely getting paid by this company, but was it fraud or not? Like, did Steve Ballmer and Kawhi Leonard have any idea that this was a fake company, basically, or not? That's kind of where the whole thing lies in. It's like, yeah, okay, you did it, but now we know. Now we have to know. Did you know it wasn't right, or does that make sense? And of course, they're obviously going to deny it. Pablo Torre is going back and forth with now Mark Cuban online. Mark Cuban saying that, hey, listen, Steve Ballmer's a great guy. He wouldn't have known this. Little bit weird that Mark Cuban is pushing so hard for this. Maybe he's just good friends with Steve Ballmer. I don't really know. It is a little bit weird how much he's pushing at this. But again, one thing about the NBA versus like the judicial system, like, or the like, you know, I mean, just talk about the Supreme Courts and United States judicial system or the Supreme Courts. You need to have like 100% inconclusive, like, or you need to know 100% for a fact somebody has done something to punish them. In the NBA, that's different. Adam Silver basically has discretion over all of this. So he can basically say, hey, listen, there's a little bit here that I think they might have done it. I can punish them because of that. And I think with the fact that this has been like a foregone conclusion that it happened, it could be enough that, listen, a punishment's going to happen. Now, the problem is training camp starts in like a week or two. And like, it's a little bit late now to hand out a punishment. It's not too late. Like, whenever they have the punishment ready, they're going to hand out the punishment. But I think a lot of reports have been saying they're probably going to wait until after the season's over and into next offseason to kind of see last year Kawhi Leonard's contract. What are they going to do? Are they going to just suspend Kawhi? Are they going to maybe void it and make him have to sit out a year with a suspension? I don't know. But there's a lot they still have to do. Apparently, this was similar to like the Joe Smith thing that happened back in 1999, before I was born. But back then, even in 1999, with the Joe Smith situation, the Minnesota Timberwolves had to give up 5 first-round picks. 5 first-round picks for something that was only a couple $1 million versus almost $50 million nowadays. Again, inflation's part of that, but still, it's a lot bigger scale thing happening right now. And the Clippers already don't have first round picks because of all the trades, the Paul George Shea trade. So like, you take 5 more first round picks from the Clippers, and they're not gonna have a first round pick until almost 2040, basically. Like, this is a very, very big deal because you already have an older team. I have a Clippers rebuild coming out early this coming week. Like, they're already an old-ass team with James Harden, Kawhi. They signed Chris Paul. Brook Lopez is there. Bradley Beal. Like, this is a team that really doesn't have room to be missing years, to having gap years. And losing Kawhi Leonard potentially for one of these 2 years you kind of have left is absolutely detrimental to the version of the team you have right now. But then, on top of that, you don't really have any young talent you're excited by. You now don't have any first-round picks. The Clippers, by doing this under the table to get Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, they went all in to win a championship with those 2 players. It didn't happen. They might have ruined themselves for the next 15 years. The real question is, like, do I think he did it? I mean, I guess my opinion in this really doesn't mean anything. Again, it's very well known now that it did happen. I can't even tell you if I think Kawhi did it or not, because I just don't know. He doesn't seem like that kind of guy. But then again, I don't know Steve Ballmer. I don't know Kawhi Leonard. Like, I'm very, very interested to see how this happens. Again, I think if it doesn't happen within the next week, then it's going to be after next season. I don't think it's going to happen mid-season. So maybe this is just something that hangs over our head for the next 8 to 10 months until they figure something out. I don't really know. It's been something to talk about in this offseason that's like not been very good at all. So I'm just very confused. Like, I get it. When you're a team like the Clippers that doesn't have a lot of success in their history, you kind of have to do what you got to do. But like, putting money into a fraudulent company just to pay your star, like, and it was a no-show deal. Like, Kawhi Leonard wasn't even doing anything. He was just getting paid to not show up. So like, it just feels really, really shitty if that's what was happening. Again, I don't know, but all I know is the Clippers once again are an issue.